Before today's guest, taking care of your health isn't always easy, but having the right information really helps. Subscribe to our YouTube channel for clear, trustworthy medical advice that you can count on. Each week, I'll share practical guidance to help you make confident, informed choices. Just hit that subscribe button on the YouTube page. Do it right now. Now, this episode's guest is one of the most exciting voices in UK broadcasting, a breakout star of Strictly Come Dancing, where he reached the semi-finals in 2022. He's played DJ sets from London to Ibiza, launched podcasts and interviewed A-listers across the globe. And he's now making his own music too. Off air, he's a youth ambassador, a London marathon runner, and a powerful advocate for young people and mental health. He's unstoppable. He's Tyler West, and he's with me now. How was that?
My head just grown
Did
three
you like
times.
that? Did you like that intro?
That was amazing. How did you remember all of that?
All of it. So easy. It's right up here. It's right up here. So here we are. We've got a bit more time than we usually have in the studio, haven't we?
I'm usually 2 minute Tyler, but today not so much. Right?
We've got as much time as we want.
Yeah.
How are you?
I'm good. I'm so excited to be here. I'm on the Dr Hilary show. This is
what's not to love, eh?
This is amazing. This is really cool.
And are you looking fit and well? Are you fit and well?
I am fit and well. I mean, I've got a bit of a knee injury going on. That was ever since we went to that wedding.
Yes, Dr. Amir.
Dr. Amir's wedding.
Well, I saw that impressive splits you did.
Well, but I didn't really.
I also heard the damage it did.
Exactly. I heard a pop as I went down. And you know, it's just like those moments on a night out where you think, yeah, I've absolutely smashed it here, and then the next day it's immediate regret. That was that case there. So it ain't been the same ever since. But I'm just taking it easy.
No, but everyone was very impressed with it. I mean, there was some good dancing going on there. Some good shapes being thrown.
I learned, you mentioned about Strictly, and I think that was one of the things, is that I was really interested in how far I could actually push my body, because dancing on a night out or at a wedding is one thing, but when you're doing it relentlessly every single day for I would start at 7 a.m, finish at 2, then go do my radio show, then go back in the evenings from 8 till 10. I couldn't eat quick enough to put any weight on. It was just falling off of me, but also my body, you had to really stretch and really look after it. I don't know how the pros do it.
It's astonishing, isn't it? Because I did dancing on ice in 2010, and I found it was just as much mentally challenging as physically challenging. I mean, all that core strength involved in the skating was one thing, but just concentrating on the moves that you had to do, the timing with the music. You probably had the same with Strictly.
Yeah, it's exhausting. It is. At the start, you go, I could never do this dance. How am I going to perform this live in front of the nation on Saturday night? But then it just happens. You get that muscle memory, and it starts working and falling into place. And now, anytime we go out, like me and Molly, honestly, we'll go to a salsa bar. I'll be able to do the steps from the show, but can't do any other salsa steps. Just the steps from the show. Just my routine.
But it's impressive. People go, wow.
Yeah, exactly.
But learning that skill is fabulous, isn't it?
It's amazing.
We go from nothing.
Yeah.
Well, I couldn't skate at all. I couldn't even stand up on my skates before I was about that you're dancing. And then suddenly, the weeks go by, the training, and then suddenly you think, I've got to do this in a minute's time, and there's going to be millions of people watching. Yeah. I've forgotten everything.
Exactly.
But as you say, thank God for our partners. And muscle memory.
Because the nerves would get there, your body would go into a bit of shock and everything like that. And also on Strictly, on some of the costumes, they have to sew you in. I never knew this. That to sew you in to your costume, basically. So once you've got your boxers on, to make sure your shirt don't come out, they'll sew you in. So anyway, I'm getting sewn in quickly backstage just before we're about to go on. And then my belly makes a little rumble, and I'm like, it's going to happen, isn't it? It's going to happen. So there was me just about to go on and do a Charleston, and practically almost pooed myself. So
we're talking about costumes.
Yeah.
Because Strictly, we had to wear these sequins. Yeah. Which do up with poppers underneath.
Yeah, the little poppers.
That's not very comfortable, is it? I mean, I remember thinking, this isn't very comfortable to stop your shirt riding up when you do your lifts and things. But it was a learning curve, very steep, wasn't it?
Learning curve. And I think, I've never wanted to wear flared trousers more in my life. I loved it. I absolutely loved it.
How far did you get?
So I got to Blackpool, and it's quite late on. After that, you kind of go through into the final stretch.
Okay.
Week 10, I think it was.
That's good. And there were protests when you went out. People said you should be in there still.
I tell you what, it's one of the funniest things, because you'd walk down the street and then people would look at you like you should be there at your funeral, and they'll be like, gone too soon. And I'm going,
bless you.
Well, I tried. All right. I literally tried. I know it was one of those upsets, but also I got everything and more from that experience. I couldn't have asked for anything more from that show. Like, I made some incredible friends, met my long-term partner.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I couldn't ask for anything more.
So do you and Molly dance?
We actually do. Everybody says, you know, at the end of Strictly Come Dancing, when everybody goes, keep dancing, like, we took that a little bit literal, right? So when it gets to like a Friday or Saturday night and we're in at the flat, we'll put some music on and we'll definitely have a little two-step. It looks a bit different now to how it did in the show, but we're giving it a go.
What's your favourite dance?
We love doing the salsa.
Nice.
I'm determined to learn Molly's rumba that she did. That'll be our first dance at our wedding whenever that happens. Yeah. So, I mean, I can't move my hips like any of the pros, but still, okay, we'll give it a go. It's the taking part that counts.
And how is Molly?
Moles is good. She's really good. I think we realised last week as well, we've been busy the first half of this year. I mean, we're well into coming closer to 2026 now. And neither one of us have really had a proper bit of time off, like a day off or a weekend off or sort of thing. So it's hard to sort of manage that. It's all exciting, the work that we're doing, but you really do need to look after yourself.
Of course.
When you can possibly get a moment, whether that's an evening, a morning, or trying to just take a day to yourself. Yeah. But it's been hard.
It was a good crack at Dr. Amia's wedding, wasn't it? We had a good day that day.
Oh, it was great. Moles loved it. I said to her, I was like, listen, you don't understand. Like, you're about to meet the ITV lot, right? You're about to meet Dr. Hilary. I apologise in advance.
Well done.
For anything that he says. And honestly, we got back and we was there in bed just talking. She was like, oh my God, I love him. I love him. I want to go to every one of their weddings.
And Dee and I love you guys as well. So it's a mutual thing.
It was really special.
Thing. Now, this knee injury, what are you going to do about it?
I've been doing it. There's this app that I've got, this like pliability app. So I've been trying to do it. I've only started 2 weeks ago, but it's about like stretching but holding for a longer amount of time, because where I naturally I always have tighter hips. I find because I'm taller as well, I've always had tighter hips. I've always never been like the best at yoga or stretching or touching my toes, but now that's my goal from now to the end of the year, to be able to like sort of loosen up the muscles in and around my joints. So that I'm not in pain every other time I walk up the stairs.
Yeah, good idea. I mean, they say that women have got more flexibility because their hormones keep their ligaments looser. Right. So they're the ones who can always touch their toes. You go to yoga or Pilates classes, they're the flexible ones. And the guys are really struggling to touch their toes because their hamstrings are so tight. So guys should do more. Do you know what? With the flexibility.
I've always done heavy weights training. So I've always been into fitness. I started off playing handball for Great Britain. I then also became a PT back in the day while I was trying to break into the world of telly, but I was always like a heavy lifter. I was like one of those guys that would go into the gym and just lift heavy, not stretch or anything like that. Now I'm paying the consequences for it. But recently I started doing Pilates as well, like reformer Pilates, like going along to those classes. Now the first class I went into, it was me and 28 women, the instructor right next to me, and I've gone in thinking, it's a 5 kg dumbbell, whatever. I could give me the heavier ones. All of a sudden, when you slow down these movements, and I looked like an absolute idiot in this first class. I was falling off of the machine. I couldn't do the weights. My legs are shaking in like little holds. I think it's really important to make sure that you do the slower, sort of more confined techniques as well.
Now, you said you played handball, but you played handball for the GB team.
Yeah.
That's amazing. When was that?
Do you know, I started when, basically, long story cut short, going back, when I was about 14, I went for a lot of stuff at home. My stepdad became an alcoholic. My mum and stepdad broke up. I witnessed a murder outside my house. There was a lot of things in and amongst when I was 2010. It was like the worst year of my life. Lost my granddad. There was a lot. And then I started going back. I took a lot of time out from school at that point. I was in my bedroom for about 2 years, suffering with mental health.
You were 14 then? I
was 14 at the time that it happened. Okay. And then one day I just woke up and I was like, okay, I can't keep staying low. My mum managed to get us moved out of the council house into another housing association. She was begging the MPs, the police, please help, my son won't come out of his bedroom. Can we please move house? Because it happened literally outside the house, the murder. Managed to get a move, and then I puckered up the courage and confidence to go back to school, and they started doing this after school club saying handball, and I used to play basketball. So I said, I'll give it a go, and then started scoring a load of goals, and they were like, you're pretty good at this. tried out for the South England team, got into the England team, then got into the Great Britain squad. And it was during a training session for the Great Britain squad that CBBC came in. It was a show called Friday Download. And they interviewed me and said, how do kids get involved in sport? And I did like 20, 30 seconds on camera. And they were like, oh, you're pretty good at presenting. Good. Yeah. You ever thought about it? And then after that, I was like, no, I haven't. But now I am.
Excellent.
Gave it a go, and I managed to get a guest presenting slot on a show on the Friday Download show, which was weird because at the time as well, Molly was one of the main presenters on the show,
right?
But she was in studio,
okay,
and I was on location,
right.
So we had never actually met until obviously all these years later on Strictly. But yeah, so that happened in and around. Then I was playing at GB till probably about 5 years after that. So probably till I was about 22.
Okay.
It was intense. Like we travelled all over the world with it.
Did you?
Sweden, Hungary, Denmark, played competitions all over.
Fantastic.
It was really good.
So you've
really good. But it always gave me that sort of athlete mentality to keep up.
Yeah.
So like I immediately just continued the training, even though once I'd stopped, because it was either, work at McDonald's at the time and try and get into telly, or go off to Denmark and play for a Division 3 team and stay over at an academy over there. And I just kind of chose to take the leap in this world.
So you always had the fitness bug. So whether it's Pilates or handball or gym, you always keep up that fitness. Yeah,
I'm really interested in how far I can push my body. I mean, it was during Strictly that I did my first marathon. And that was the biggest regret of my life there, because like, the pain that I had in my ankles and my knees the next day after, because I think I did the drive on the Saturday night, and then I was on my way to the start line the Sunday morning, and then I did the run. I did it in, I think it was 5. I took it slow. I say I took it slow. It was pretty fast at some points, but then I had to slow down. I did it in 5 hours on that first run. Then had the afternoon off to recover. Monday morning, I was back at Strictly rehearsals in Crocs, barely walking around the room, but just trying to learn it mentally.
Had you done your training for the marathon?
No, I couldn't because
no training.
I did no training because
don't do that.
Exactly, I learned the lesson now because I was doing prior to that. I was doing like 5Ks, 10K runs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But then Strictly got announced, and I was like, well, I can't risk getting injured for the dance.
Sure.
But then I also, at the same time, the charity I was raising money for was like for young people up and down the UK.
You'd already committed. Yeah.
I'd already committed. It was a tough one, but it made me learn, how to help my body and how to recover.
Well, you mentioned what happened to you at 14. Are you comfortable talking about that a bit more? Because there's so much that we need to address currently with young people's mental health. They're finding it difficult to deal with all sorts of issues, the stresses of life, family breakups, the future, the news that they're constantly exposed to, which isn't happy all the time. Resilience, they're not taught resilience. What's your take on how we can make young people look forward to a brighter future, to become stronger, to resist bullying, that we certainly see on social media. I mean, you've come through it.
It's really
sounds
hard.
like you went through was horrendous, but you did it.
Yeah, I got through it, and I think I didn't have any special handouts. I didn't have any sort of things to like sort of grab me and pick me up. I wish I did, but unfortunately I didn't. The estate I grew up on, there's not much opportunity. There's not many interesting people doing amazing things that want to take you, say, hey, don't worry, come to this club or anything.
Nothing
like
inspiring
that.
At the time.
Nothing inspiring. I think that's a key ingredient to it. I think it's inspiration for young people, and it's also young people knowing that they've got a space to go to, or that the world is a lot bigger than their environment that they're in. Because when I was sat there at 14, practically suicidal, thinking, right, I don't want to leave my bedroom. I'm too scared to go outside. And, prior to that moment, I was a bit of a nuisance anyway, growing up as a kid. But it then got to this turning point, and I think that things happen in your life to give you fuel to where you want to go. You can let it sort of it's like make or break situations that happen. Nowadays, there's a lot of youth clubs. There's more youth clubs closing down now than ever before. Yeah. That's a problem. That's a problem, because when you go to an area when it's like there's nothing going on here, there's no inspiration, there's no safe space to go to. Young people, where do they turn to? And then they turn to online. But then now online, you can go through your screen time and you can look through so many apps, and there can be so much toxic things that we're just automatically digesting from social media and the thief of joy is like the comparison. Like you sit there and you'll look, oh, this person's busy, they're on holiday here, or they're doing that, or they've got a six-pack, and oh, that person over there's, you know,
expectations are too high.
It's way too high. And I think when you strip it back to basics, the one thing that I spent a lot of time, I went to a lot of therapy. I recommend therapy to absolutely anyone, because what it did for me is it helped me set up my foundations. It helped me set up, you know, who I want to be in this life, and not sort of go, oh, well, I went for a murder, that's why I'm angry. Or, you know, I didn't have my dad in my house when I was younger, so that's why I'm angry. It was never any of that. That was never the case. That's
good. So you haven't hung on to that and sort of blaming that for not getting where I mean, you've come through that and gone further, and you're very successful now.
I think the success, the thing that I call success in my life is where my happiness and love is. And it sounds so like cringy and cliche, like a rom-com, but if I hadn't have gone through those things there, even it was such a traumatizing year, but if I hadn't gone through those things there, probably never would have like jumped into handball. Probably never would have then got an interview with CBBC. Probably wouldn't be sat here with you now. I wouldn't know you. I wouldn't have been on Strictly and met, you know, my girlfriend Molly. I wouldn't have had... It's all these things. I genuinely do believe that everything happens for a reason. And if something bad happens in your life, it's more so if you've got a strong foundation around it, it's how you can bounce back and come back for that.
Well, we're talking about inspiration. You're an inspiration now. I mean, and you exude this energy, which is
bless you.
Which is this.
It doesn't switch off sometimes. It's a bit annoying.
No, it's infectious, and it's admirable. It's fantastic. And you're busy on social media in a positive way.
I love it.
You've got a track out now.
I made it.
Tell me about High.
I've been producing sort of for like the last 4 or 5 years working on this project. There's like 10 tracks I got in the locker, but then this one came around and it's sort of an Afro house sound that you can play in the kitchen, you can play it when you're on your way to your holiday, you can have it on in the sunshine and rinse it all summer. And I just came back from Marbella, and it was playing in the clubs over there. And it's the weirdest thing that you've worked so long on a project and then you hear it out and everybody's, you know, screaming, going wild to it. And I'm like, that for me is where great. I need to make sure that I have different avenues for my energy to output.
Perfect,
you know.
Perfect. And recently you've publicly announced that you had a hair transplant.
Yeah.
Which not everybody would do.
No.
But it looks great.
Thank you.
It looks great. And you were back within 3 days of having it done.
Yeah. So the rest period, I mean, they kind of say like, look, you need to take at least like 14. Well, the hardest part about it is the sleep, because you've got to sleep upright for 2 weeks. So that was really hard. So I'm sat there like upright in bed, and Molly's having the most comfortable sleep of her life, spread out, starfish.
Yeah.
So that was the hardest part about it. But yeah, the hair transplant, I mean, I thought about it for a long time. My brother's bald, my dad's bald, and it's just kind of like, just as always ran. And I used to have as well, a massive high top and a massive afro, but I used to put all sorts of products in it and it proper damaged my hair.
Okay.
So then I've noticed over the years it would like start thinning, or definitely along my hairline it would start to go backwards, and I was like, I'm just not ready to be bald yet. Like I'm like, this has always been something I've loved. It's been part of my identity.
Yeah.
So then I went and bit the bullet and went and got a hair transplant, and now I think it'll be 12 months in, because they say that the whole process of recovery is 12 months. So the end of November is when I'll see the full results, which is good. But I'm happy with how it is now. Not many people talk about it. Yeah. People try and hide it.
And then you told me that Molly turned around and said, you look quite hot with the one hair.
I went through this whole process. I've gone through consultation after consultation. I'm nervous, everything like that. Then they finally just take the clippers and shave all my hair off. And she goes, oh, you look quite fit, bald. I'm going,
now she tells me.
Thanks, Moles. Right? I can't back out now. It's injected in my head. That's it.
We were talking earlier, you said that as a kid you had an appendicectomy.
Yeah.
Tell me about that. What was that journey like?
That was my first ever operation. And that, I mean, coincidentally happened just before I turned 14 as well. So that's kind of like spiraled everything after it. I was where was I? I think I was at Guildford Ice Rink. Yeah, I can't skate, right? But I was at Guildford Ice Rink.
Not gonna lie.
On a date, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
On a date, yeah.
on like a double date with my mate.
Okay.
And I'm going around the ice rink now, and then holding on to the penguin, obviously, because I can't skate on my own. And then I'm like, oh God, I've got like really bad indigestion. I've got like really bad bellyache going on. And I was like, I'm just going to go to the toilet. And then all of a sudden, as soon as I got into the toilet, these cramps and pains started so bad. And I was like, I can't, like, nothing's coming out. I don't know if I'm constipated. I'm on the phone to my mum. I don't know what to do. And she was just like, look, you're going to need to just like try and come home because I can't help it. I can't get to Guildford. Like, that's it. So then I've managed to firm it and get on the train. Like, now, obviously, my date thinks that I've just had diarrhea for the whole of the ice skating session, which is great. So then we've got on the train to go home. And then I've got back to my local station and I literally got to the end of, like, about to then jump on a bus to get back. And I just collapsed on the floor. Luckily, at the time, my brother was driving past with his friend, picked me up and then took me up to the hospital. And they said that my appendix had burst. So literally within this time frame, it's so lucky that I was sort of there at that time for them to take me off into surgery. While I was there, I was petrified of having I didn't like hospitals, even though like my mum had worked in it since we were born. And then I went and had this surgery and I came out and I mean, I'm quite old now to be on the children's ward, but I was there anyway. And I was honestly I didn't feel a thing in my body at all. I'd lost so much weight. I was there. I see the scar. I've still got the scar there now. And it was one of the most scary experiences. But then as I've come out the surgery, I've got so much drugs in my system that I'm singing at the top of my lungs. Apple bottom jeans, boots with the fur, like that. And the nurses are going, Debbie, we've never seen a reaction like this ever before to an anaesthetic. I'm like, fine. But, and that was tough as well, that process, because after I then got discharged, I was at home resting. I was sleeping on the downstairs, in the living room downstairs. And then I caught a bug whilst I was in the hospital and I woke up one of the mornings and I just started throwing up and I was sick 37 times whilst I've got this stitch here and it's sort of opening up again, and then I had to go back into hospital and back out. It was a tough process. Yeah. It was a tough process.
Complications, yeah. Is that the only operation you've had?
That is, I think, the only operation I've had. Aside from that, I've been like fit and well throughout my whole life. I've obviously suffered with my asthma. I've suffered with...
you still get that asthma?
Yeah, it comes through seasonal for me.
Is it?
So I started up, it's usually like hay fever.
So it's allergic?
Allergic. Yeah. So then, but then where I think I've been so fit throughout my whole life, like I've always been involved in sport, it's really helped out.
Of course, yeah.
That's with good. Those things. And then I've got an Apple Watch the other day. So now you can track sort of your breathing patterns, your resting heart rates and things like that. I'm a bit obsessed with it.
Use an inhaler?
Yeah. So I've got a brown one and a blue one, but I've never usually need to use the steroid one. It's usually...
That's good. Yeah, just this one for reliever.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Do you take any other pills, supplements?
Supplements-wise, it's been an interesting journey because when I actually went to go get my hair transplant, they were saying how an effect of creatine could actually result in hair loss as well. Because I've tried every supplement like throughout my whole gym journey. Pre-workout I would take, but then there was some with and without creatine. There was a mass gainer called Serious Mass, which is about 1,200 calories a shake. Because my problem was I had real bad body dysmorphia when I was younger. I kind of was like really short and fat, and then I got like really tall and skinny. And when I went to go play handball, everybody would just push me. Or we'd go play abroad, and I'd just get pushed over. I was just literally like a stick. So I was like, I need to bulk up a little bit. I need to put on a bit of weight. And then obviously the world of Instagram and social media, when you're younger, you're like, oh, I need to go to the gym. I need to look like that. But I've sort of been through this whole journey with it all. Creatine now is like in the right gram dosage can help with your strength gains and things like that. That's probably been a consistent go-to. Aside from that, it's just eating as much as you can, protein-wise.
And keep eating a healthy diet. Now, you're in the afternoon, you're on Kiss FM.
Yeah.
You're enjoying that. Do you think music's good for health? Is it good for your health?
Music is the biggest game changer in my whole entire life. You can listen to it when you're sad, you can listen to it when you're happy, when you need to be hyped up in the gym, when you're on a long drive, whatever it is. But that's the thing with my show that I have at Kiss. I've been there for 7 years now. And the one thing I love is that every single person that listens into that show, whether you've had a tough day or you've had the greatest day, I'll be there for you regardless.
That's nice.
And I think it's the real special connection that I have with everybody in the Home Straight family. Like they come along, they just enjoy it. They text in, they've had a bad day. Now this song's just cheered them up.
That's nice.
Or if they've like that getting married or they're celebrating, I'm celebrating with them. It's genuinely the weirdest feeling in the world knowing, one of the shyest kids from this council estate in South London now talks to millions of people every single day. It's wild. I don't know why they let me do it.
They love you. And you probably hate this question, but do you have a favourite song, a favourite genre?
A favourite song or genre? I tell you what, CC Peniston, finally.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
Finally, it happened to me.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I know.
Exactly. It goes, brown cocoa skin,
Right in front of my face, and I can't just deny it. Yeah,
such a good tune. Because I love weddings, right?
Yeah.
Weddings, when I started first going to weddings, like actually getting like the upgrade to the full day rather than just going to the evening, I was just like, this is just the happiest place on earth. It's like the happiest ceremony in the world. So that's like one of my go-to wedding songs. If I hear that, you're not getting me off the dance floor for the whole 3 minutes
Fantastic.
and 36.
I have favourite songs now. I mean, they change. So it used to be Elbow, one day like this.
Right.
And now it's Pink singing I Try.
Oh,
just try.
Pink.
It just does things to me. It just lifts me up.
I would love to see your playlist and just put it on shuffle, just see what Dr. Hills goes for.
It'll be very interesting.
Because what was it? You said you went to go see ABBA the other day. You went to see ABBA
going tonight.
Night. Oh, you're going tonight?
Yeah, going to the theatre tonight. Yeah. Well, that's Dee. She loves a bit of ABBA.
Yeah.
But it's all good. So music and health, good, I think. You're right. It can inspire people, it lift people up, it can calm them down.
Yeah.
I sometimes wonder, you like sport, I like sport. And it just seems to me, if I go to a stadium or even watching something on TV, if there's a break in the play, they have to blare out.
They have to.
A little bit as if people's attention span is 2 seconds. They can't do without some sound.
Well, I think
it worries me a bit.
It is wild, but I even nowadays, I always have to have music. So the minute I walk into my flat, there's music connected to the speakers. But what I found different is my reaction to different styles of music.
Yeah.
So say, for example, back in school, there was an English teacher I used to have, Mr. Black, and he said to me, he was like, listen, when you're revising, if you're struggling with your revising, go home and listen to classical music whilst you're revising. And when you read a book, you seem to think you take in more of what the words that you're reading.
Right.
But then I discovered something recently called lo-fi sounds, lo-fi beats. So the only way I can describe this for you is that it sounds like royalty-free music. It sounds like elevator music. It sounds like, just sort of in the background, easy supermarket stuff. Just turn it down and have it on the background. Yeah. And I've had some of the most productive days of my life listening to that. Whereas then if I put on like a house playlist, I'm just excited for to go out. I'm like, the excitement stays on a level.
And is that partly because you know the words and you're thinking about the song and you're probably singing the words in your own head? Because I can't work with that kind of music on.
You need to try lo-fi beats.
Oh, okay.
You need to try lo-fi beats.
Right.
Not me giving a doctor advice.
I'm going to make a note.
Hills, honestly, lo-fi beats, I've never had the most productive days of my life doing it.
Yeah, all right. That's a good tip. I should write that down. And what about going to bed at night? Do you have music on to go to sleep to?
I'm the worst at this at the moment as well, because my sleep pattern's been diabolical over the last few weeks. Only today have I woke up and I've finally had my first 8-hour sleep in 2 months. That's really impressive. I'm really happy with that. Yeah. But aside from that, the average has been between 5 and 6. And the problem, I think, is because my show finishes at 7. I don't get home till 8. Once I'm home, I'll cook dinner, try and do a quicker recipe. Say, for example, I'm eating dinner about 9:30, 10. By that time, I've then got showered, got ready, wind down for bed. We're now moving late. Now I can't just get into bed and just fall asleep.
Your brain's still going 100 miles an hour.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So then I put on The Office. Yeah, I watch a little bit of telly back to back, and then slowly fall to sleep with a sleep timer. But then I don't know. I struggle. I don't know what the best sort of route is for it.
I'm talking to a man who can sleep standing up. So can't be all bad. But no, I think we are obsessed with the 8 hours a night myth. I think that if you get good quality 6 hours and you don't have daytime drowsiness, that's okay. It's something's going right. If you're sleepy during the day, then clearly you're not getting enough sleep. But I think the 8 hours where you think I must get 8 hours and it's stressful in itself. If you ask someone who sleeps well what they do, they'll say, I don't do anything. I don't even think about it. I just go to sleep. The more you stress about it, the less likely it is that you'll fall asleep. And I think writing down, if you've got any worries in your head, writing them down always helps.
Write them down. My therapist told me that. Any stresses you've got, write them down, put them aside, go to bed, and then worry about it the next day.
That's absolutely right.
What do you think about magnesium tablets?
Yeah, I think some of the magnesium salts can be quite useful. They're calming. They do have an influence on the hormones that induce sleep, melatonin. So it's certainly not going to do any harm in the right dosage and worth a try. But I think that the basic things, making sure your sleeping environment is calm, you've got a dark room, no noise. You had a relaxing bath, maybe some aromatherapy, not eating too late that you mentioned can be an issue. Medications, of course, asthma inhalers can stimulate a little bit as well.
Yeah.
All these things, address the lifestyle issues. A lot of people come into my surgery and say, I can't sleep. And they're burning the candle at both ends. They're getting up early. There's a stressful job. They're working till late at night, and they expect their brain to just switch off. And
you have to be stricter with it. I think you really do. And also, I mean, you might know this. What's the ideal temperature for your body to fall asleep?
Probably 18 degrees.
Is that cold? Is that cold or?
It's kind of cool room temperature.
Because Molly's a radiator. So here's my problem. Prior to meeting Molly, I actually slept great, right? But she's now in this bed and she is a radiator. She'll be wrapped up. She'll have pajamas, dressing gown, quilt, everything on to the point that she wants to be in a sauna over there.
Yeah.
We're mid heat wave, right?
Right.
The windows are shut, everything like that. The minute there's a little draft, she's miserable about it. So I'm trying to cool down the room prior to her getting home from work,
right? So
that I can go in and cool down. Because if you overheat, I overheat all the time. I'm just such a sweaty, hot person. So.
I think that's common. I think you need to get one of those mattresses with dual temperatures.
Yeah,
they're probably very expensive. I don't know.
I need to look into that.
You could look into that. But this has been a pleasure. The other thing we haven't mentioned is exercise. Of course, exercise during the day is a great way of getting a good night's sleep because you're actually making growth hormone, which stimulates sleep at night. And a lot of people think, I can't sleep at night, but they've taken no exercise during the day. The body isn't physically tired.
Yeah.
And mentally, they're just hyper alert.
And then how often a week, roughly? I mean, it depends on.
I mean, if you can do a little bit every day, great. Yeah. But I mean, according to the NHS guidelines, it should be, 100 and sort of 50 minutes every week. But that wouldn't be enough for you or me.
No.
I mean, we like to do some exercise on a much more regular basis. And if it's enjoyable, it's not a chore, is it?
No,
it's
exactly.
Easy. And it helps us sleep, and it lifts mood, helps us in lots of ways.
It's been the key for my sort of focus. We mentioned a lot over this chat that we've just had. Young people and inspiration, mental health, and trying to keep your mind straight. Being motivated within your day to day and having inspiration, that all of these things, the one consistent factor that I've had all the way through is exercise.
Yeah. Excellent. And what's next for you, Tyler?
What's next? There's some exciting stuff happening at the back end of this year that I can't actually talk about at the moment. But yeah, it's going to be a very sort of, even though I've just said we literally haven't had a day off in 6 months, we're not going to have a day off in the next 6 months. But it's all exciting stuff that I can't wait for you to watch.
Well, I hope you get some great holidays soon.
Yeah.
And don't overdo it. But you're doing great. Everyone loves you. So
you're the best.
I shall listen to Kiss FM tonight. And,
that's it.
Of course I will.
Oh, Hills is listening. I'll give you a shout out.
Absolutely.
And play CC Peniston.
Do that, please. And then Tribe, I think. Yeah. Thank you so much. Don't forget, you can watch all of my interviews on the Dr Hilary Show YouTube page, including my recent conversation with Ian Marber.
When I was younger, I'm 21, working in an office, can't remember what it was, if you had someone who came into the office who hadn't eaten since 6 o'clock last night, and they didn't eat until lunchtime, they didn't have black coffee, this is not a healthy relationship with food. Call it intermittent fasting, and now it's a healthy relationship. Not just healthy, but a researched healthy relationship. And I know that, I'm going to get people tell me that's not true. But why deny yourself the pleasure of eating? Why live like that? You don't need to live like that because you can manage your food in a way that's not so extreme. And I think that it suits some people, not everybody. And I worry about if you have let's use fasting as an example, a small window of time to get your nutrients in, not just to manage your weight, to get your nutrients in, that it's possible to now be undernourished, yet be following what is on paper a healthy diet.
Hit subscribe on YouTube now so you don't miss what's coming next. We'll continue the conversation about your health and focus on what truly matters to you. And for more information and show notes on all our programs, just go to drhilaryjones.com.